All right, let's do something a little different today. We're going to step back in time, way back to Christmas Day, 1875. We're going to spend one entire day with a single American family, the Seavers, just to see what their world and their Christmas was really like. So, picture this. Our story starts right here, in these cold, quiet moments just before the sun comes up. You can almost feel the frost on the glass, that deep chill in the air. This is a world with no central heating, you know? Every single bit of warmth for the day has to be earned from the fire. And at the very heart of this little world are Isaac Seaver, who's a 52-year-old blacksmith, and his wife, Lucretia. They're awake in bed, but they aren't listening for Santa. Nope, they're listening to the sounds of their kids trying and, well, completely failing to be quiet. Because that Christmas morning excitement is just too much to hold in. So let's meet the whole crew, shall we? We've got Isaac, the hardworking blacksmith father. Lucretia, who's really the heart of the home. There's their son, Benjamin. He's 21, and then their daughters, Elizabeth and Nellie. And it's that 14-year-old Nellie who her dad says is just about to explode from anticipation. I think we all know that feeling. Okay, so the family all shuffles into the parlor. There's a pretty modest tree, decorated with things they made, like popcorn and paper chains. And the first thing everybody goes for? The stockings. They're hanging right there on the mantelpiece, just bulging with these simple but oh-so-cherished little treasures. What was inside these stockings gives us such a cool glimpse into what made people happy back then. Little Nellie is just over the moon with everything from peppermint sticks to a new ribbon for her hair. But take a look at that very first item on the list, an orange. Now, for a kid in 19th century Massachusetts, that orange was pure, unadulterated magic. And this just shows you the huge difference between their world and ours, right? An orange wasn't something you just grabbed at the grocery store. It was a total luxury. It had to travel a long, long way by train or by ship, which made it an expensive, really exotic treat. Finding one in your stocking, that was like holding a little piece of sunshine in the middle of a freezing New England winter, a true indulgence. So after the stockings, they get to the gifts under the tree. And this is where Isaac, the craftsman, really shines. See, he didn't go out and buy these gifts. He made them with his own two hands. That jewelry box, the sled with its iron runners, that brass buckle, each one of those things represents hours of his time, his skill, and his love. They're not just objects, they're a piece of him. With the presents all opened, the energy in the house starts to shift from the parlor right to the kitchen. You can just imagine the air starting to fill up with these incredible smells of Christmas dinner. This is a project Lucretia has been planning for weeks. It's really a testament to her skill and her foresight as the, manager of the whole household. And what a feast it is. I mean, look at this. This menu represents a serious portion of the family's money and resources. That roast goose was a special purchase. The preserves? She put those up herself months ago during the harvest. Absolutely nothing here is taken for granted. This meal is the grand finale of a whole year's worth of hard work and very careful planning. Now, just as the dinner prep is hitting its peak, there's a knock at the door. Guests are here. The small house on Cedar Street suddenly feels a lot fuller, the noise level goes up, and the family circle expands to include dear friends and even the next generation. So, who's joining the party? It's Isaac and Lucretia's oldest son, Frank, and his wife, Hattie. And they've brought Hattie's parents along with them. And of course, the real star of the show, their 18-month-old grandson, little Clarence. The conversation between the two fathers, Isaac the blacksmith and Edward the machinist, it gives us this amazing window into the life of working men in 1875. They talk about their jobs, the challenges, but the feeling you get from them overwhelmingly is just gratitude. In a time with zero safety nets, having steady work lined up for months ahead, well, that was the greatest security a family could ever hope for. Before they eat, Isaac says grace. And this prayer, it's not just a formality. It really captures the central theme of their entire day. For the Seaver family, Christmas is all about a deep, profound sense of gratitude for their faith, for their family, and for simply having enough. It's a really powerful moment of quiet reflection before all the feasting begins. So after that massive dinner, you can just feel the restless energy from the kids. Nellie is absolutely desperate to try out her new sled, and she's leading the charge. The younger Seavers get all bundled up against the cold and head out into that gray December afternoon for the next big adventure of their Christmas. I mean, think about it. With no screens, no phones, no devices, The town's social life happened outdoors. The frozen pond basically became the town's square, the social hub for everybody. It was filled with kids racing on sleds, and everyone would huddle around a big bonfire for warmth and to just talk. It was simple, it was communal, and it was just pure joy. Now, as Isaac is watching his younger kids head out, his oldest son, Frank, comes and stands beside him at the window. And in this really quiet moment, you can just see time passing. Isaac looks at Frank and remembers when he was the boy racing to that same pond. And Frank, now a young husband himself, is just starting to get his father's perspective. It's just a beautiful, kind of bittersweet moment between them. As dusk starts to fall, the kids come back inside, their faces all red from the cold, and the family gathers one last time in the parlor. The whole house is glowing with lamplight and firelight, like a warm little beacon against the dark outside. And it's here, in the quiet of the evening, that the real meaning of the day sort of crystallizes for everyone. And this brings us right to the heart of the whole story. For a guy like Isaac Seaver, living a life of hard physical labor and pretty modest means, how does he measure his own success, his own fortune? It's definitely not by what's in his bank account or the size of his house. His answer is just everything. He looks around that crowded, warm parlor, at his family, at his friends, and he understands that this connection, this shared happiness, this is the real treasure. It's a kind of wealth that you can't make at the forge or count up in a ledger. And so the day ends with this perfect image, the Seaver home, just a haven of warmth and light, as the snow starts to fall softly outside. It's just a picture of peace, of contentment, a family that is rich in all the ways that truly matter. You know, this little trip back to 1875, it leaves us with something to think about. In our crazy modern world, it's so easy to lose sight of what the Seavers understood so clearly. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? If you stripped everything else away, what simple joys are the ones that truly define your holidays? Thanks for watching.